Good afternoon, I'm Mai Rodriguez. Today on Newsfeed at noon, a day of grief in Israel as the nation remembers the victims of last year's October 7 carnage. Prominent names formalize their candidacies for the midterm polls as the deadline for the filing nears. President Bongbong Marcos and his South Korean counterpart meet in Malacañang, where both leaders vow to elevate ties between their countries. And Filipino artist Ronald Ventura's State of Bloom breaks records at Christie's Hong Kong auction house. Thanks for joining us. Emotions running high in Israel as the country marks the first year of the attack that triggered the ongoing crisis in the Middle East. Across the world, commemorations are underway in key cities, while others prepare to hold memorials of their own. Eugene Adalia reports.
A difficult day in Israel, as thousands remember the victims of Hamas's deadly attack on October 7 last year. At a gathering in Tel Aviv, pictures of those killed were shown on a screen as people lit candles and leave handwritten notes at a makeshift shrine or simply embrace each other.
You don't know how to express the words. You're afraid to burst into tears because you look at all the pictures of today, the victims, we commemorate for the victims and their families. So you see how life was lost.
On the walls of Jerusalem's old city, images of hostages still in the hands of Hamas militants.
Saw the pictures and it's really like making me sad to see the hostages and to remember that they are still there, and we hope they will come back as soon as possible.
Hamas's attack left more than 1,000 people dead, at least 370 from the Nova Music Festival. Some 250 people were taken to Gaza as hostages. Dozens are still unaccounted for. Calls for their release have reverberated across the world, from Paris, where crowds marched near the Eiffel Tower, to London, where thousands took part in a vigil.
I pray every day, every single day, that the remaining 101 hostages are free.
The October 7 assault sparked Israel's war with Hamas in Gaza that has since spread to neighboring Lebanon against Hezbollah. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed nothing less than victory. Eugene Adalia, BNC.
Pope Francis calling for world peace as the crisis in the Middle East risks escalating into a full-blown regional conflict. He urged the faithful to mark October 7 a day of prayer and fasting for peace and to help those devastated by war. Monday marks 1 year since Hamas launched its attack on Israel. Nearly 42,000 Palestinians have died and millions have been displaced since Israel retaliated, according to Gaza's health ministry. It's day 7 of COC filing. DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos, former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavit Singson, and former Senator Gringo Onasan are just some of the prominent names that filed their candidacies today for the midterm elections. Hannah T is on the scene at the Manila Hotel for an update. Hannah, go ahead.
Mai, despite the rainy weather, the filing of certificates of candidacy for the 2025 midterm elections is in full swing here at the Manila Hotel tent. Political hopefuls and their supporters continue to arrive. Supporters of DILG Secretary Benhur Abalos created a lively scene earlier today, with some of them already here as early as 5 a.m. and marching bands accompanying a large crowd along Independence Road. Among others, Secretary Abalos was accompanied by no less than his father, former COMELEC chairman Benjamin Abalos. Also joining today's notable aspirants is former Ilocos Sur Governor Chavit Singson, who formalized his senatorial bid. Win or lose, Singson has pledged to modernize public transportation without burdening transport groups. Singson humorously mentioned running under the LL banner, which stands for Lakas Loob or Courage, and is running as an independent candidate. Former Senator Gringo Honasan also filed his COC, saying he still has unfinished business in the Senate. His legislative priorities include bills on land use, national security, and food security. Meanwhile, retired military officer Ariel Carubin showed his desire to protect the country's sovereignty, particularly in the West Philippine Sea, as he joined the senatorial race today. His green cloth supporters arrived earlier today to show their support. Among those who accompanied Carubin was Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong. On the party list front, Ako Bicol, led by Representative Zaldi Go, and the Mayang Filipino were among the groups who filed. Bisaya Gyud party list, led by Greco Belgica, is making another bid after his 3 unsuccessful senatorial runs. Belgica criticized the ongoing House investigations against the Dutertes, calling them overboard. OFW party list, with Representative Marisa Del Mar Magsino at the helm, also filed today, reaffirming its commitment to advocating for the rights and welfare of overseas Filipino workers. Mai Akbayan party list also just filed a few moments ago, with Attorney Chel Jokno as its first nominee. We've also seen former Senator Bam Aquino, who is yet to file his COC for another senatorial run. Superstar Nora Honor was also here, and she is the second nominee of the People's Chap party list. Aside from these prominent names, many more candidates have also filed, and we expect the number to surge further throughout the day as the deadline approaches. Mai?
Hannah, it seems like these last 2 days are going to be busy. What's the word from the COMELEC on the expected turnout?
Mai, according to COMELEC chairperson, Chairman George Garcia, they've already processed more than 70 COCs for senatorial aspirants and more than 80 for party lists. However, they still expect the bulk of candidates to file today and tomorrow, with tomorrow being particularly busy, and the Commission is prepared to continue processing COCs even beyond the cutoff 5 p.m. if needed. Mai?
Hannah, did the COMELEC chair give any advice for candidates who have yet to file their COCs?
Yes, my COMELEC is reminding candidates to file as early as possible and to set their staff ahead of time to ensure all required documents are in order. Party lists missing the filing deadline could result in a non-participation tag, so they're urging candidates not to wait until the last minute. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you, Hannah T, reporting live from the Manila Hotel. Senator Cynthia Villar has filed her COC for Representative of Las Piñas. Zandro Achona is on the scene at the COMELEC office in San Juan for the latest on the congressional race. Zandro.
My first to file the COC today was Rose Nono Lin. Lin is seeking to run again as representative of the 5th District in Quezon City. Lin is also ran last elections but lost to Representative P.M. Vargas, who also filed his COC earlier to seek re-election. Lin has previously appeared before the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee on the Formalize investigation. Right now, she and her husband have 2 show cause orders from the House Squad Committee on alleged illegal POGO involvement. When prodded by the media, she refused to comment. Senator Cynthia Villar also filed her COC. She was accompanied by her husband, former Senate President Manny Villar, son Senator Mark Villar, and her daughter Camille, the current representative of Las Piñas, who is herself seeking a Senate seat. When asked about her view on dynasty, Villar, trying to hold back tears, remembered her father, who was also a congressman in 1963. Villar is set to run against 3 other aspirants who all criticize political dynasty.
Family kami, but it has been done my father since 1963. Pinamana niya sa amin na mahalin namin yung Las Piñas. And I thought it's in the memory of my father, who really loved Las Piñas when he was alive.
By a total of 55 congressional seat aspirants have filed their COCs as of this moment. Mai?
Zandro, how many congressional hopefuls have yet to file their candidacies before tomorrow's deadline?
My Comelec is expecting somewhere between 60 and 100. But there are 3 cities where the Comelec has yet to receive any COCs. These are San Juan, Pasay, and Mandaluyong. Bye.
Thank you. Zandro Achona reporting from San Juan. Congressman and senatorial hopeful Rodante Marcoleta slams the House of Representatives more than a week since he was expelled from 5 committees. Marcoleta tells BNCs at the forefront he's disappointed and frustrated on how his fellow lawmakers have been conducting hearings. He claims the rules and traditions of Congress are being desecrated for political reasons. He cites the recent House deliberations on the proposed budget of the Office of the Vice President.
Can you imagine? It was only a budget briefing, and the Office of the Vice President presented her budget. It was merely a presentation of budget. What they undertook in the Committee on Appropriations, they almost undertook a committee investigation. Ang mga tanong ninyo, hindi na kako pang-briefing. Ang tinatanong ninyo kakong ganyan, what you are doing is you are mining for evidence. Preparatory to an impeachment.
Marcoleta suggests his removal from 5 House panels in late September was linked to his move to defend the OVP.
Kagustuhan ko lamang na maituwid yung aming mga tinatawag na tuntunin, yung mga pinangalagaan naming mga unwritten rules na kung tawagin namin ay mga traditions. Pati yung mga yon ay nasakripisyo na. Sa akin, okay lang eh. If this is the price I have to pay for defending what is right. I said it before and I will say it again. I will fight for that right, whatever it takes.
Up next, Donald Trump returns to Pennsylvania, the site of the first attempt on his life. Billionaire Elon Musk joining him in the campaign. This is Newsfeed at noon here on BNC. Stay with us. You're back on Newsfeed at noon. President Bongbong Marcos welcomes his South Korean counterpart, Yoon Suk-yeol, in Malacañang. The 2 leaders held a bilateral meeting with strengthening ties high on the agenda. DWAR Abante Radio's Andrea Salve is on the scene for an update. Andrea.
Mai, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. officially welcomed South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol in Malacañang this Monday morning, together with First Lady Kim Kon-hee as part of his 2-day state visit to the Philippines. President Marcos held a bilateral meeting with President Yoon at the State Dining Room in Malacañang. Joined by the respective delegations, both parties discussed matters on the 2 countries' partnership in political, security and defense, maritime, economic and development areas, including people-to-people ties. At the start of the bilateral meeting, President Marcos thanked President Yoon for accepting his invitation to visit the Philippines in accordance with the 75th celebration of the diplomatic relations between the 2 countries. In his speech, President Marcos looked back at the strong relationship between South Korea and the Philippines, founded through the sacrifices of thousands of Filipinos who provided aid to South Korea during the Korean War in 1950, making the Philippines the first Asian country to do so. Since then, the bond between the 2 countries have grown and both enjoy a robust partnership in many fields of cooperation, including defense and security, maritime cooperation, trade and development, and people-to-people exchanges. The president added that this is the time to elevate the ties between the Philippines and the Republic of Korea into a strategic relationship. In his reply, President Yoon agreed to elevate a strategic partnership with the Philippines to bring cooperation to a higher level. Later in the afternoon, the 2 leaders will attend the Philippine-Korea Business Forum at the Manila Hotel. Mai.
Thank you, Andrea Salve of DWAR Abante Radio. Former U.S. President Donald Trump takes his campaign to the battleground state of Wisconsin. Trump is trying to reverse his fortune in the state. He won there in 2016, but lost to President Joe Biden in 2020. Wisconsin has 10 electoral votes.
Today I make you this promise: I will liberate Wisconsin and our entire nation from this mass migration invasion of murderers, child predators, drug dealers, gang members, and thugs. Going to be liberated. And I'm only asking you to do one thing. We don't even need your money. Keep your money. Just go out and vote. Get everybody involved. Go and get them involved.
The world's richest man joins Trump in the campaign trail. Elon Musk appeared on stage with Trump during a rally in Pennsylvania, the site of the first assassination attempt on the Republican presidential candidate. There, Musk rallied Trump supporters to actually vote in the elections.
President Trump must win to preserve the Constitution. He must win to preserve democracy in America. This is a must-win situation. Must win. So I have one ask for everyone in the audience, everyone who watches this video, everyone in the live stream. There's one request. It's very important. Register to vote. Okay? And get everyone you know and everyone you don't know, drag them to register to vote, and then make sure they actually do vote.
Despite being at odds with her husband, former First Lady Melania Trump is keeping her stand on abortion. In a new interview with Fox News Sunday, Melania said the government must not interfere with personal choices. Melania's remarks came days after excerpts of her book were published, where she wrote, "Women should have the autonomy to decide if they want to have children."
Yes, he knew my position and my beliefs since the day we met. And I believe in individual freedom. I want to decide what I want to do with my body. I think I don't want government in my personal business.
Donald Trump earlier took credit for appointing 3 U.S. Supreme Court justices who helped overturn the landmark Roe v. Wade that made abortion a constitutional right. Trump, though, has sought to offer a more nuanced stance on the issue as he seeks to return to the White House. Bad news for motorists as oil firms are increasing diesel and kerosene prices tomorrow. Diesel will cost 1 peso and 20 centavos more per liter and 70 centavos for kerosene. There are no adjustments for gasoline. Global oil prices have surged due to fears of a widening conflict in the Middle East. Comclark Network and Technology, owned by billionaire Dennis Anthony Uy, is offering to manage the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, or CAAP's, air traffic system for nearly 30 billion pesos. Data from the Public-Private Partnership Center shows CAAP is now moving forward with a detailed evaluation of Comclark's proposal. The project aims to improve air traffic safety, operational efficiency, and reliability. The Transportation Department says a study by the World Bank and International Finance Corporation on how to proceed with the air traffic services management will be completed by next year. Foxconn, the world's largest contract electronics maker, posts record third quarter revenue. The Taiwanese firm's revenue jumped 20% year on year to 1.9 trillion Taiwan dollars, or more than 57 billion US dollars, surpassing market expectations. Foxconn, which counts Apple and artificial intelligence chipmaker Nvidia among its clients, attributes this growth to the strong demand for AI servers. A new way of building homes using cheap, abundant, sustainable materials without cement could help the whole industry reduce its carbon footprint. A team at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology has developed a robot that can 3D print walls using what's called impact printing. The process involves a mixture of building materials layered to create walls without the need for molds that normally hold concrete in shape while it dries. It's designed to make sustainable building materials more cost competitive.
Essentially what we're doing is we're compacting material, but without any formwork and without, these big molds that you would see in other processes. So if our system gets fully optimized, there's huge potential that it could be extremely fast and also ecological at the same time.
Coming up, pets put on their Sunday best to get blessed on World Animal Day. This and other stories after the break. You're watching Newsfeed at noon, only here on BNC. Welcome back to Newsfeed at noon. Let's head over to Vietnam, where more young people are challenging family expectations by opening their own cafes. Coffee has long been an integral part of Vietnamese culture, but starting a cafe is not a career that many middle-class parents would choose for their children. Recently, however, there has been a growing trend of young entrepreneurs stepping into the world of business and using coffee as a form of self-expression. Vietnam's coffee shop industry is worth $400 million and is expected to grow even stronger in the coming years. Filipino contemporary artist Ronald Ventura continues to break records, this time at Christie's Hong Kong auction house. Christie says Ventura's painting State of Bloom sold for 36.7 million Hong Kong dollars, shattering his previous record by 88%. The painting was initially estimated to sell between 1.8 and 2.8 million Hong Kong dollars. Ventura is now one of the most sought-after artists in the region's art market. Christie describes State of Bloom as a work that fuses elements of nature, machinery, and everything in between to explore themes of transformation, identity, and the intersection of organic and synthetic life. October is a special month for pet lovers, and they're showing love by having their dogs and cats put on their Sunday best to get blessed. It's part of celebrations for World Animal Day, which falls on October 4, when Catholics celebrate the feast of St. Francis of Assisi, the patron saint of animals.
For my prayers is good health, and sana lagi silang happy and maging blessing and magbigay sila ng happiness sa atin, as well as mabigyan natin sila ng happiness.
For some, it's a tradition, pero para sa akin, for protection na din sa well-being niya, ganyan. And ayun, and yung prayer ko sa kanya, ayun, sana humaba pa yung life niya kasi I'm an only child, as in, so siya yung naging companion ko talaga sa lahat ng naging journey ko sa buhay ko.
And those are the news this hour. I'm Mai Rodriguez. Keep it here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. Good afternoon.